Buckle up for a new episode of today's podcast. Human beings have a moral obligation to safeguard the environment and advance the planet's sustainable development for future generations. I'm Hannah Yakat, and today's podcast will focus on water-related concerns, its cause and effect, and some possible solutions to at least preserve it. We all know that water is life. Nothing and no one can survive without it, even humans, since we are composed of 70% water. In such a coincidence, 70% of the earth is also covered in water. This would mean that there are a huge amount of species having an aquatic habitat. However, due to the continuous emergence of industrialization and technology, we tend to destroy the bodies of water surrounding us. From the rich color of blue and green, the waters from the ocean, sea, rivers, and lakes are now a dull color of gray. Rather than being filled with aquatic plants and healthy creatures, the seas are now filled with plastics and non-biodegradable wastes that humans continue to throw negligently. As a result, the quality and the amount of water that we consume are at stake. The contamination of fresh water and continuous misuse possess a negative impact on our lives. So, Ms. Bator, what do you believe could be the possible consequence of a water problem?
Thank you, Ms. Yakat. As a consequence, the current generation of humankind is suffering from water pollution, hunger, poverty, diseases, sanitation issues, biodiversity loss, and many more. Below are the detailed explanation and information regarding the issue of water shortage all around the world, particularly here in the Philippines. Also, we mentioned below the things that we could do in order to prevent further damage to our planet's water stocks and to preserve our nature and biodiversity. Also, I will discuss further details and definition about these challenges. Water shortage, both natural and caused by humans, is defined as a lack of sufficient and accessible water resources to fulfill the demand of its community. Water is divided inequitably over time and location. Much of it is misused, contaminated, and poorly damaged. How about you, Ms. Yolanco? Can you explain to us the possible cause and effect of water pollution?
I agree with you, Ms. Yakat and Ms. Bator. Now, I will share some causes of water scarcity. First is pollution. Water pollution has environmental consequences that make water unfit for consumption or use and reduce the available water resources. Pollution is thus becoming one of the main threats to the availability and reuse of water. Second is overuse of water. The misuse of water resources is a big issue leading to water scarcity. Inadequate management of water resources, whether it be for agriculture, industrial activities, or domestic use, causes a lot of wasted water. Third is climate change. Due to global warming, there are more droughts, floods, and heat waves. Climate change is therefore worsening the water crisis, especially in regions that are already under water scarcity. And lastly, growing freshwater demand. The population has doubled and continues to grow. As a result, the use of water to drink, cook, and meet the other needs has tripled. May I ask you, Ms. Montasil, what can you say about the effects of water scarcity for the people and environment?
Thank you, Ms. Yulanco. I'm going to discuss the effects of it. The effects of unclean drinking water are devastating. Water is an essential part of life, and when it becomes polluted, the consequences can be fatal. First, we have hunger, poverty, and education. Apart from dehydration due to obvious lack of drinking water, hunger is one of the most serious effects of water scarcity. Water shortage have a direct impact on crops and livestock, which can lead to food shortages and eventually starvation. As well, because of water shortages, some people cannot shower, wash their clothes, or clean their home properly. Next, we have sanitation issues and diseases. Water scarcity generates sanitation problem by forcing people to drink water. In fact, when water is scarce, people tend to store it at home, which increases the risk of domestic water and breeding grounds for mosquitoes, which transmits dengue and malaria. Next is the biodiversity loss. Water scarcity has different impacts on rivers, lakes, and other freshwater resources. It harms the environment in several ways, including increased salinity, nutrient pollution, and the loss of floodplains and wetlands. Ecosystems and biodiversity are threatened by the scarcity of water resources.
Now that they have discussed about the cause and effect of this problem, I believe that it is important for us to talk about how we can solve it.
I agree. There are a lot of possible solutions to fix this issue. Lack of safe drinking water is very alarming, so it is best that we act on it.
The first possible solution is to have sustainable water management. The improvement of water infrastructure is a must because it involves the storing, the delivering, the transporting of safe drinking water.
Or, we can use solar desalination and smart irrigation system, which are clean technology for water efficiency and control.
I agree with that.
Water management is one important key, but we should not forget that the best and simplest way is to innovate and conserve. In many parts of the world, access to clean water is limited, so we must conserve it. Several ways to do it is by keeping the tap closed when not in use, do not run more water than necessary while washing your clothes.
Or do not prolong bathing. Consider a quick shower and also consider harvesting rainwater since it is the best method used for conserving water.
That's right, Kirsten.
Did you know that our government provides solutions for water shortages in our country? They implemented the Republic Act No. 9275 or the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. This is an act providing for comprehensive water quality management and for the abatement and control of water pollution.
The Philippine government should consider amending the Philippine Clean Water Act to provide more safeguards. 2.1 billion people in our country still lack access to safe drinking water. Although this act provides for the prevention and control of pollution, it still appears that domestic and industrial waste and agricultural runoff are being discharged continuously, resulting widespread pollution of our country. Thank you for watching and listening to our podcast. See you next time.